I'm so excited.
You ready for the new year?
So much. I am so ready for the new year.
Me too, man.
Okay, let me pause the playback as you know how it does.
Yep.
Hello, everyone, and how are you today? I have the wonderful experience of being able to sit with a gentleman by the name of Mr. Carl Miller. Mr. Carl Miller is a licensed in the fields of lead abatement. The funny part, I forgot whenever you put this on your Facebook thing, it actually erases what you wrote. But he's licensed in the field of lead abatement as well as he is licensed as an RRP specialist, renovation, repair, and paint, as well as he's an OSHA 30 specialist. I had the blessed opportunity while taking my residential builder's license class of sitting in with Mr. Miller during class. And he was a very, or is a very intelligent person. I was looking forward to speaking with him later on. And I was just really thinking about speaking to him on the side of new construction. And I had been going to the general or the residential builders class basically to take classes so I would have my license so I would be able to license and legally build the EVG 3D homes in Michigan. And that actually turned into being able to create people, work for people by referring them out to various jobs. And, you know, it feels really good because I always, you know, how you go when you're a kid and you go to class and you're hanging out with all your classmates, you know, and you always want a chance to actually work with your classmates afterwards. And I just thought of our class as a big happy family, and maybe that we could all work together later on. So right now, I would like to introduce Mr. Carl Miller, as you can see in the video, and allow him to introduce himself, and we'll just talk over a couple things. Mr. Miller, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Walter. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. Just ran in from the weather. It's a beautiful Michigan day here, and as you know, Michigan just, you know, if you're actually from here or actually even from the Midwest, you don't really complain about the weather. You just know what it is.
Exactly, exactly. I know all about it. I lived in three major northern region states in my
Okay.
lifetime. Yes, so I
Yes, so
get
you
it.
definitely know.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Carl Miller. I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts. Lived there for 36, 37 years. Then I moved to Chicago, Illinois. I lived there for 23 years. And my pursuit with Chicago was a major metropolitan city that is unlike any other city. I wanted new
Truly.
adventures. Yes, I wanted new adventures, and one of the adventures was to seek out opportunity in the real estate field in Chicago. So I went back to school at UIC, University of Illinois at Chicago, where I was in the Urban Affairs program under the College of Urban Planning, in which I obtained my bachelor's degree in urban affairs back in 2015. Uh, and prior to that, I got my real estate license in Illinois. And from 2009 to 2018, my license was active. And then I started focusing on my pursuits with Detroit, Michigan for the last 4.5 years. So when I got to Detroit, I decided to expand my credentials. I went to a training center here in Detroit that allowed me to learn about drywall. And in that course of 6 weeks was the course, the training. I learned about drywall. I learned about uh, some roofing and some electrical, but I was able to obtain and train on CPR, first aid,
Mm.
OSHA 30's license, my RRP, and my lead abatement license. So I got all of those through that training center. And like Walter, I completed the 60-hour course for my builder's license. I'm just setting up the exam date so I could pursue the exam and get my license. Uh, since February of this year, after I graduated from the program, I had several major jobs under my belt. The first one out was an 8-unit apartment building that we did the full gut on. I had a crew of 6 people at the time. And subsequently, I worked on several big houses and smaller apartments doing uh, drywall. Was the next big project for a 2-unit building, 2,800 square feet, including the attic. And we did the painting on that as well, a crew of 5 for that one. And now I'm working with one of the developers here in Detroit to work with the Detroit Housing Commission, and we're doing the RRP work there to meet the remediation of lead on pipes, windowsills, and the like. So, and I went and recruited 11 other people who have their RRP license as well, who will be working with me on that projects or those projects with the Detroit Housing Commission.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
Wonderful. So you've been a bit busy.
Yes, ever since. I'm currently working on a condo in Farmington Hills. She's a repeat customer, uh, mostly painting, but we're doing other things to get her condo up to code. It's a much older condo. And, subbing out the areas that I don't have great expertise in, but my expertise are painting, drywall, and demo.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And you do a really good job on the from the painting, the drywall, and the demo from the videos and things I've seen. What I'm actually going to play for our viewing audience is when I go back to the window is when I find which window it. There we go.
That's my current project. Now, what you guys see in that clip is the walls were all white, including the ceiling. In there, you'll see that is now gray, and I decided to do a soft yellow up on the ceiling. Reason being, it helps open up the space a little bit more. There's plenty of natural light with the windows, and instead of doing the white ceiling, which most people do, which would have been just fine. But what white does, white is a sterile color, and it would have made the whole place look very cool. I wanted it to be soft and more warm and inviting. So, and with the brownish floors, it literally expands the rooms even more. So, a lot of natural light that comes in, and coupled with the artificial light from the recessed lighting, it really lightens up the space in which my client was looking for.
And see, that's the benefit that I really wanted people to get a chance to speak and hear you is that, a lot of people, when they're actually doing rehab, is really just about tearing things off a wall and putting things back up. And besides that, you actually have the aesthetically pleasing eye to not only repair, renovate, and paint, in addition to actually interior decorate and actually give the buyer, the husband, the wife, the couple, the good friends a aesthetically fashionably pleasing eye as well as a uh, professionally uh, uh, professionally prepared location. And that, a lot of people just talk about throwing the paint on the walls. And if you just want somebody to throw the paint on the walls, that's one thing. And if you want somebody to put paint on walls in a proper manner, in addition to properly painting, and also understanding renovation, because one of the things that people might understand is if you don't build it correctly, the paint will not look right when you lay it down. So it's all like everything is like a beautiful layered job, you know. If you have, it's just like this. If you're walking in your living room and you have a beautiful, I mean a beautiful Persian rug, and there happens to be a pebble under the rug, you're gonna walk and notice that pebble under that rug every time you walk past that rug.
Absolutely.
It's it's the same thing as when you're rehabbing or renovating a property and then painting. If you do not have a comparable, excellent, and when I say excellent, I don't mean perfect because we're all perfect in God's eyes. What I mean when I say excellent, I mean a person doing the best to their humanly possible that they can do to create a space in that is my what I consider perfection.
Right.
And that is what you can see is the level of perfection that Mr. Miller actually gives. You know, it feels good to be able to actually discuss with people and feel comfortable because there are a lot of people in the class. And although I did call a lot of people and I spoke with a lot of people, I did not want to work with a lot of people.
Right.
And what I'm creating in this area is I've been in real estate since 1999, and even longer than that. Once I was a kid, my mother took me through the Boston Edison area, going and seeing the what a home looks like and what a well-built home must look like. And she was just taking me. Well, I don't know. You don't know how the Most High works. That
Right.
might have been. I just realized that I didn't know what I was going to do all my life. And God has been trying to point me to housing and construction the whole time. And I was looking at everything else. The whole time, my mother was taking me to these unbelievable, beautiful homes in various areas where I could see how they were well built. And because of that, I understand a well built home and a not so well built home. In
Right.
addition to through flipping a lot of real estate, I also have seen a lot of homes that people spent a whole lot of money on that I didn't even know why they were actually cleared.
Right.
So, it's a pleasure to be able to introduce the world to Mr. Miller and let people know about some of his wonderful work. I'm going to pull out a couple more of the photos, and then I'm going to let Mr. Miller go ahead and jump to the next thing. He is, as you know, a work person, which means that he is working all the time, whether he's actually on your job or actually at another location. He is always working. People don't understand that when a person is working with a company and they have their own company, they aren't just working then, they're doing constant work. They
Right.
might be thinking about the way to set your house up. They might be thinking about the best paint for your home. They might be thinking about things you aren't even thinking about. They might be thinking about how to talk you into fixing something that you know would be better for them, their family, and their loved ones,
Right.
their safety, even though I'll say it, you're trying to be doggone freaking cheap and you only have one family. You only have one life so far that we know about until we come back. As far as I know, we go somewhere else. So
Uh,
you want to give the best possible foot forward in the work you do as well as the people you work with.
Absolutely. And then before you plug in the next clip, let me just
Okay.
address that quickly. That first clip that you just showed, that current client that I'm working with, I just got off the phone with her. It's a constant thing, right? When you're dealing
Mhm.
with that. And like you said, I'm still working when even if I'm not on the job site.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
still I have I'm part of a vast network of other general contractors, subcontractors,
Mhm.
and the like. And we're talking about our clients and projects and so forth. But getting to the point of my current client, just got off the phone and we're talking about remodeling her bathroom. And I
Mhm.
was subcontracting that out. And the reason being is it went beyond my scope of expertise. So instead of trying to tackle something and not do it correctly, I'd rather
Yes.
refer it out. So you have to know when to uh, say no to things
Yes,
and
Lord.
refer things
Yes.
out. And lastly, one of the things, like you were saying, what they would need, she was concerned about the pricing, and I told her it's right on par because of the condition of the bathroom. You're talking about tile, and then behind
Yes.
the tile, you have plaster with wire
Yes.
mesh. So that's 2 inches there. So all that prep work to demo is really where the cost comes in.
Yes. And you know, the one thing you just made me think about that people do not think about,
Mm.
the bathroom is the wettest place in your
Exactly.
entire house.
Exactly. So we touched note on that one and what moisture could do. It could wreak havoc,
Yes.
cause mold, and so forth. So
Yes.
when you have someone who recognizes these things and let you know, you're paying that extra cost for the hazardous condition in which the worker is in. You're not. It's
Yes.
not just demo. I could remove things carefully, but when there's friction to a
Yes.
surface that has the possibility of being airborne, you
Yes.
still have to charge for that extra layer of hazard that you have to contend with.
Yes. And if anybody knows anything, in most of these homes that we're around, they were built before 1978, which
Right.
was the lead paint issue.
The lead
So if you
ordinance. Yeah.
yes, so if you think about this, all these Michigan homes have okay, I'm gonna say this and I don't want anybody to be afraid. All these Michigan homes are properly rehab so that the contaminants will not leak out into the air and we stay safe.
Right.
Haven't you ever noticed that when they demo a house, they're constantly wetting it down and or they throw some kind of tarp around it to make sure that these contaminants are not released into the air? Our homes are beautiful, but before we found out about better things to build our homes out of, we use various materials
Yep.
now to keep ourselves safe in these various homes, unless we're going to knock down every last home that was built before 1978. And in fact, here's the funny part: not only would you have to knock down every structure built before 1978 and anything used before 1978, you, in addition, would have to wait a while for all the dust to clear. And then you couldn't even use any paint. So the funny thing is, if you were actually painting in 1979, you couldn't even use the paint from 1978. So it's
Right.
a complete new situation. So what you're doing is you're taking an old door and you're completely not only removing the old door, you're making sure that everything around the old door is safe, like where you took the hinges off, making sure nothing's leaking, and you're making sure that everything is closed off and proper. Then you're putting it back on properly. Then you're making sure it's sealed properly so that the family and everybody, not only for your generation, but for the next generation that actually purchases that home or lives in that home, is safe forever.
Right.
So
And
now, oh, go ahead.
I'll just say this. There's a lot of times a lot of people want to take shortcuts. Never take
Mhm.
shortcuts with your health. Just never. It's not worth it. And,
Yeah.
and when I say shortcuts, I'm talking about painting over lead paint. Can you contain the lead paint by painting over it? Yes. The problem with that is, however, this wear and tear that always comes with that. So the lead paint
Yes,
is much thicker and stronger. The
it
new
is.
paint that you use now is latex or water based. That could easily come off and then re-expose you to that lead paint. So
Oh,
why
wow.
do that when you could just either remove the piece altogether
Yes.
or strip it
Yes.
down to the bare wood and then prime it and then paint it. Now you removed it completely, similar to your walls. Instead of trying to do shortcuts and paint over it, all those shortcuts it adds up because I have to stop and go and stop and go. If I remove everything and put up new drywall, you're free and clear right off the rip. And
Yes.
last thing I would say, in particularly for those who have rental properties, do not take the shortcuts because you're limiting your market, who you can rent to. And if you have small children, if you start anew, not only would you pass inspection that will meet the HUD requirements, but now you have a healthy house. Healthy homes are
Ooh,
very important.
it's
You
gonna be
talking
out of the
about
grave.
air quality. You're talking about surfaces that could cause problems as well. So
Uh-huh.
to avoid that, just start anew. Invest in your property smartly, because then your return on investment will be sound and sustainable.
Oh my God, child, you just said something for real. So
Yep.
really, a healthy house gives you a better investment for
Long
now and
term.
the future.
Right, because now you can market to everybody. Whereas if you did shortcuts, you're probably limited to just people without children. And now that's a form of discrimination, if you will, because you're limiting
It
it who you
is.
can market to.
It is because you're
Right,
literally saying, I don't want to market to anyone. I
right.
don't want to market to anyone. Ooh, you know what's really weird? It's a double entendre because you're
Yep.
saying that my house is not safe enough for children, but it's
Exactly.
safe enough for the
Exactly.
you might get sick.
Right. And don't get me wrong, Detroiters. I see this all too often in Detroit. I never had that issue in Chicago, never had that issue in Boston. And the reason being, we in those other two cities, we never tolerated shortcuts. Never.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
couldn't even go into a client's a high rise to paint a condo if I did not have my proper insurance in place.
Yeah.
Literally, they stopped me at the front desk in the lobby. I had to
Yep.
show them my insurance in order to even see the client.
Yeah. Yeah. And
They they bypass inspections here in Detroit, and that in the long term does not help you in terms of your insurance on your property.
wait. Back up, back up, back
Right.
up, back up, back up,
Yep.
back up, back up. Did you say they bypass inspections?
Sometimes I've heard people say we're not doing inspections. That's a big no-no, because
Wow.
it affects your insurance,
Yeah.
and it affects your appraisal, because
How do you
they
get by with not doing inspections? I thought
uh,
inspections always had to
yeah,
be done.
nope. A lot of people have bypassed since I've been here. I've been here a year and 2 months. I can't tell you how many investors told me how they bypass inspections.
Oh my God. Now see, here's the tripped out part, man. I don't get it. And this is one of the reasons why we're actually talking about doing the things we're talking about in massing property.
Yeah,
You got these schmugs, and and I say schmugs, and
I get it.
I give my grace to my play brother because he told me I can't say this word, so I won't say this word anymore. I love all people. Like,
Right,
from my funny thing, I always say, like from Jerry Maguire, I love all people. But the
right,
funny thing is, like, I have a problem with investors.
right.
My problem with investors, especially with Michigan investors, is you have the literally best market. It's been the best market for I don't know how many years. I've watched the Today Show. I watched Good Morning America. I've
Mhm.
listened to so many podcasts. I've listened to radio interviews. I'm an investor's investor. I've got all y'all beat. I don't care. You guys don't sit up at night like I sit up at night. You don't look through the various asset classes that I look through, and you have not done the work that I have done, and you have not been where I have been. So, okay. And I'm not saying
Well,
I'm better than you. I'm just saying what I've done.
well,
And
here's the thing. The problem is a couple of things. When the city went into bankruptcy, there was
yeah,
a lot of loopholes, if you will, and I'm being generous to saying that. And this is way prior to me even having my focus on Detroit. It
yeah.
allowed for people to say, well, since we're in bankruptcy and we know we want to renovate these homes, there's not going to be any safeguards in place in order for me to do the renovation. Thus, the absence of inspections. That was since 2013. Here we are 12, 13 years later. That became more cultural in terms of people bypassing the inspections that they think is normal. It's not normal.
Wow.
It literally costs you in the long term, and you
So
shouldn't
what you're
allow
saying to
yourself.
me is that these people literally they've learned bad ways to do things, and because of that, that is now the norm.
Exactly, and see you.
Okay, so I won't beat up on them too bad.
Right. So here's my thing. Again, the emphasis, it will not help you with your house insurance. It will not help you with your appraisal because those things get pulled. They're finding out, did you pass inspections to get the proper appraisal? Because the appraisal says, the inspection says to the appraiser, okay, everything has passed, everything has been put together correctly. So if you did not have the proper inspection, because they're going to follow up, guess what? The value of your home had just went into decline.
Yeah, and I was saying all that to say this. I cannot understand how you have the best real estate market in the world and you don't want to put $5 in the property, because the difference is when you put $5 in the property here as of putting $5 into a property in Chicago. When you put $5 in a property in here, you get a better return because
Correct.
of just the simple fact of, okay, if you put $5 into a $70,000 house, it's different than putting $5 into a $3 million house.
Exactly. And even then, still, I mean, because of the medium income here is lower, the cost of living is lower. So five
Yeah.
thousand goes much farther here, just from that
Mm-hmm.
premise, right? As
Mm-hmm.
and you don't even have to compare the cost of the house with
Yeah.
Chicago. It's just it is all
Goes
relative
further.
here.
Yeah, because even when I was asking you about even the wage, like the wage is different for repair in Chicago than it
Yes,
is here. And here's
absolutely.
one of the things, and like sadly, but this might also be it might actually play a key. Could it also be because of the fact of the allowing the things to go bypass on passing inspections? Could be why the wage is lower.
That's correct. And that goes without saying. Well, here's a couple of things. Not only just bypassing the inspections, you're also bypassing the prep work.
Oh my
So,
gosh, the
right,
proper prep.
the proper prep. So, I looked at a house, a whole house from top to bottom. Literally, it was from the second floor, and it was a one family, the first
Mm-hmm.
floor, and then the basement. This guy wanted me to paint every aspect of this house. And I'm not even talking about the prep yet, paint the whole aspect of the house, and he wanted to pay me only $4,000.
Inside and out.
No, just inside. But we're, we're not even talking about even prep.
He
Even
just
the
wanted you to. He just wanted you to paint it and do no prep.
no, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying not even including the prep. Painting alone would have been more than $4,000. You add
Yeah.
on the prep, and that is an additional. So that's the work that I would be doing, the prep and then the painting. And he talking about $4,000. I said, you're insane. And when I try to tell him,
Mm-hmm.
what type of paint to use, so to remove the blemishes,
Uh
he said
huh.
no to that, which was flat paint. It covers the blemishes as opposed to a
Right.
higher sheen paint. And then I
Yeah, it's
also
shiny. You see the bounce off the light.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right. And then I told him uh, to skim coat instead of trying to patch up everything. He said no to
Mm-hmm.
that. So there was two
Mm.
remedies, and he wanted to do shortcuts. And this is the problem that these investors are not getting. If you
Mm-hmm.
keep on doing that, here's the big surprise to you, all you investors. Pricing is changing. You're no longer going to be able to get things so inexpensively and done cheaply. Nobody is going to do that for you anymore. They're getting more skilled. They know what that skill costs. And so if you're trying to get cheap labor, your time is running out, as in like in soon.
Mm. And I'm
So
gonna even give like the simple, like when we go for steps for a quote, I wanted to read this out so people can
okay.
understand.
Yep.
When we say these various things, we aren't attempting to disrespect or anything. We're attempting to give a nice, simple structure of how to basically find out things for a quote. So our first one is very simple. We just ask if you a video with adequate lighting, everything that you want done. And then number two, we ask you to write a list of everything you want done. And then three, we ask you what your budget is. Like he mentioned that one person's budget was $4,000. And the great thing about him saying that was he knew, Mr. Miller knew that it wasn't a realistic possibility of actually doing the actual repairs and paint and getting all that done because of materials alone would almost cost what he was requesting. If you're gonna redo walls and strip down paint, you know there's time, there's materials, and there's labor.
Right.
So when we ask you about your budget, we're not attempting to get all your money. We're still people who are of the mindset of we want you to be able to afford, or we want the work to be comparable to your pocket.
Correct.
So the weird thing is, like, if you can't get certain work done, you just have to wait, and we can do the best work done professionally for what you have to spend at that point.
Right.
So when we say your budget is what's the amount you would like to spend, because you know how much you want to spend, and if you have a certain amount you want to spend, we can gauge what can we best get done for this amount that keeps you and your family happy and safe, and it moves you forward. And then we can just do things in various stages to get you to where you need to be. Then another step.
And just have-
What's that, sir? You say
okay,
something?
no, no. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, I'm about to say something. Here's
go
my thing on
ahead.
that. And I want the audience to really understand this. My my price is not based on Chicago. My price is based on my years of experience. Yes, Chicago, I could make more money. I understand that. But it was coupled with because of my experience. So it's all relative wherever I go. So when I say to you it costs such and such, I understand the market and know how to price for Detroit. I've been here long enough to understand that. However, we're not doing rock bottom pricing here in Detroit. Not. I won't do that. I don't do shortcuts. I have integrity. So if you're saying no, I don't want you to do the prep, you're gonna have to find another painter. I'm not thirsty for money. So let's just make sure we're very realistic with our budget and the scope of the work so we can meet where you're at. And I bring up scenarios. So like Walter said, your budget right now is $4,000. I could do up to this point for 4,000. Then we could revisit finishing everything because that's the real scope of what you want done, and then realize it. I could also offer financing as well, but now you'll be paying a little bit more because there's interest attached to it. So you may have be able to fin things out long term, but you're going to be paying more at the end of the contract.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And thank you
So,
for explaining that.
all right. So you have a picture propped up right now. This is a little closet up in the attic area. Can you show the before picture, if you don't mind? Uh,
Sure. I'll go ahead and just start flipping through these. You let me know
Okay,
when we
right
get.
there. So as you can see, that is all the insulation that is up in the attic, and it had like 2 by 2 square panel tiles that was attached to there. We removed all the panel tiles. Now flip to the point where is the drywall, please, Walter.
Would that be would that be these?
Yeah, yes. So
Okay.
as you can see, there was a light fixture there. It was a rush. They just wanted the drywall hung. That was
Mm,
it. No painting, no other anything. So
okay.
you see how we put it? We had to take off the stripping of
Mm-hmm.
where the angle is down below, and then slide the drywall in. See the strip of
Mm-hmm.
wood above the little door, and
Yeah.
then slip the drywall behind that, and then reattach
Wow.
that strip.
Wow.
So we got it in with four sheets, cut around the light fixture, and put it in. It took us an hour and a half from demoing out, putting the drywall back in, and leave out. We had a
So
short window.
so this is this the after or the before?
This is the after. The,
Okay.
the before was the brown stuff. Remember?
So all they asked you to do is really just to all they really wanted you to do was just put the drywall in.
Exactly. And
They didn't
that's
want
all.
you to do they didn't want you to do no mudding, no
Nope. Nope.
no
Just
not even make it pretty, just put the drywall in.
put the drywall up.
Yeah, you can only do what they ask you for. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So that's the before that you see in front of you now, and the previous one is after. So that is where we were at on that one. That took us an hour and a half and got everything in and out. We cleaned up, put the drop cloth down on the floor. So any debris that came from the ceiling fell right down on the drop cloth. We was able to scoop it up and take it out. We had a couple of extra pieces of drywall. We left that with the client just because they could use it elsewhere. They didn't need it for that closet, but if they needed it for elsewhere, now they had drywall to utilize it.
Got it. Got it. So they didn't even want you to sand it down or nothing. They just asked you to just throw it up there.
Exactly. And so the other thing is this included the materials in terms of the price.
Yeah, yeah. And see, the thing people you also got to remember, you get what you pay for.
Right.
If you literally don't want us to do anything and make it, because you saw how pretty everything was in the video
Right.
of the other work that was done, but when a client only asks you to do so much, you mean you can only do so much what the client asked you to do.
Right. Because it's a timetable as well. It wasn't just
Yeah,
okay, I didn't want to make it completely whatever pretty, whatever that means. But it's like, no, this is this the window that I have. This is what I need for you to do. And it's good enough for the client, not good enough for me, because I have a higher level of integrity to and standard. But I do know that based on the timetable, based on the specifics of what they want done, that's what I deliver.
got it. And I'm gonna go ahead and play this video of
That is the kitchen with the white ceiling, and we
okay,
put black door knobs on there. This
okay,
was this is what's all before. As you can see, all the walls are white
mm-hmm,
and the ceiling's white. This is our first walkthrough. Everything was white.
okay,
We did all the closets, all the walls, all the doors. And if you see the little knobs on the closet doors, they were brass. We spray painted those black. All
okay,
the doorknobs, you see they are brass. We spray painted those black so we could save people money and make things look good with a can of spray paint. So I could work with your budget and make things happen, but then the upkeep has to be in play because like
yeah,
anything that's painted could be chipped. So I give
y-
people instructions. Don't see the wallpaper on the walls in the bathroom. We
yeah,
removed all the wallpaper. We removed all the adhesive, the vanities, the mirrors, installed the toilet. All that's going to be new, all of that.
okay.
So
That's your paperwork.
that's my paperwork. That's me. So those are all, and that's right there. Go back to the previous one. This is the client's house in Evanston, Illinois, where I lived. And this was all wallpaper, the entire house. I stripped all the wallpaper and we used only two colors throughout the house. It was about the placement throughout the house. It made it look like we were doing multiple colors instead of two. It was only two colors, and but the way we placed it made it look like it was several other different colors, and all of it was uniform.
Hmm.
And we got very creative. See, That's the previous. As you can see, I'm stripping off the wallpaper. The floor is covered. This is the dining room. To the upper left corner, you can see the old wallpaper, and to the right, you see the bare wall. We would
Mm-hmm.
strip that all off. You see the picture framing down below. That is all white. We changed that and made it a warmer color.
All right.
See, all white.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sit back.
That's my ocean license. See, go back, go back.
Go back again
Yep, one. Yep. Go go ahead. Hit it again.
or back.
Again. No, 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 no. Hit it forward. All right, right there. That was the before. That's all the wallpaper that was in there, as you can see. Go back,
Okay.
please, and one more time. And you can see this is the during when we were stripping the wallpaper. Go back one more. And as you can see, this is the after.
Wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
that was a process throughout the house. It was first stage, and this is all prep. I had to strip all the wallpaper, and it was all throughout the house. I had to patch up the walls, and then sand them, and then prime, and then paint.
Got it. Got it. Looks really good. Looks
Yeah.
really good. Okay. So I know Mr. Miller is about to go out to a job that he has at 2 p.m. So I want to give him a moment to like relax and get himself set before he goes out to that job. In addition, I want to also thank Mr. Miller for his time today
Thank
on
you.
actually the eve of 2026 that we're looking on creating some wonderful things in the area of Michigan, in Detroit, Michigan area, as well as the surrounding areas, whether it be in new construction or renovation, rehab, repair, and maintenance and alteration. And we're actually being quote, according to license right now, renovation, repaint, and repair, and lead abatement. And then as we actually amass our residential builder's license and move into that aspect, building as well. This has
Right.
been a wonderful opportunity to sit with Mr. Miller on my BAM.Bee Fix My House show. The reason why I gave the mindset of BAM.Bee, I'd never seen, as many years and as many years as it's been out, I had never watched or even heard the actual show, but it was all BAM.Bee is about learning how to, and like the first steps in life, and learning life and how to be in life. And what we're actually teaching is learning how to be in and around fixing your home, whether fixing your home or building your home, and just some of the little small nuances and little tips that can assist you in a better like home living and home build. It's not just about whether we would love for you to work with us, but one of our other main goals is to make sure that you're educated enough to work with yourself and other people out in the field so that you can hire the best persons possible for a situation. Mr. Miller's work will be on the buymichigan.net site, Buy Michigan, and our Fix My House segment. We thankful for Mr. Miller's time today. We also will be doing some live shows when he's actual on site, as well as constantly adding videos and tips and things from his work and from other excellent work persons in the area. Mr. Miller, we thank you so much for your time today. We thank you that you are a person of good repute. And when I say that, I
Right.
mean that you have the mindset of working for the best for a person, not just for their dollar, but what's best for a person in their life that's best for them, not what's best for your pocket, but what's best for that person through business you're able to actually amass a living for yourself and hire others to work as well as providing a wonderful, safe home structure for people. So I thank you for the endeavor you have chosen in life, And I thank you for
Thank
your
you,
time
Walter.
today, sir.
Thank you. And I thank everybody out in the viewing audience. Thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, obviously, you could find my number on the site. Give me a call, text me, and then we could set up a consultation and walk through. It's free, doesn't cost anything for the consultation. But be prepared that, I talk quite frankly just to make sure that you fully grasp what goes into the work that I do.
Yes, and that's what we give. We give good people who give good professional work.
Yep. All right,
Thank you.
everyone. Well, thank you very much for everybody's time, and you guys have a blessed new year. And I'll see you on the other side.